I had an opportunity to interview 5 interesting people that really impact me on an everyday basis at Appalachian State University. I asked them some questions about loyalty, on what they think loyalty is, and some of the decisions that they made in their life that impact them today and in the past. And I hope you guys enjoyed my interview. Thank you for your time. First interview I'm doing with is William Greenberg. He's our strength and conditioning coach at Appalachian State University. I've spent countless hours with him, every day on and off the court, him just helping me in my life, and I thought he would be a really interesting person that I can get to know and get some background and feed on some decisions he's made in his life.
Action.
Coach Greenberg, I want to thank you for coming to help me out with this assignment. I want to ask you a few questions. First question is, what is the worst decision you ever made?
When I was in 10th grade in high school, I got mixed up with the wrong crowd, and anyone that knows my father knows that that's just unacceptable. As a 14-year-old, I thought it was smart to ask my older sister, to buy us some alcohol for a homecoming dance. Things got a little bit dicey. Things went wrong, and of course my father found out about that. And needless to say, I didn't drink alcohol again until I was 21. But it was definitely the worst decision of my life as a 14-year-old, thinking that I was mature enough to drink alcohol and make adult decisions. But my father rectified that pretty quickly for me.
What is the best decision you ever made that affected someone else?
Actually, it involves my parents as well. As a freshman in college, I was at a Division III school playing baseball that was a private university. Cost quite a bit of money to go there. Division III doesn't allow sports scholarships, so when I had the opportunity to transfer to a Division I school, play baseball, I saved them 3 years of college tuition to pay. So that was my decision. It was a very difficult decision to make, but at the end of the day, it allowed my parents to save quite a bit of money.
What is the worst decision that you ever made that affected somebody else?
Worst decision that I've ever made that affected someone else?
What's the worst decision someone has made that directly affected you?
When playing baseball in college, our best pitcher, our starting pitcher, Friday night, he decided to continue to break team rules. He started doing some drugs, smoking weed, and that actually ended up getting him kicked off the team. And we were very close to going to the ACC tournament that year, which would have been big for us. We were 2 games shy, and without him, we probably lost 4 or 5 games. So his decision to be selfish and break those team rules, it really affected us as a team and us as a chance to go to the ACC tournament.
Who or what are you loyal to?
I think loyalty depends on the other person. I'm loyal to those who are loyal to me, who I can trust in, who tell me the truth, who make sure that they're there for me if I'm going to be there for them.
How do you decide between being loyal to yourself and loyal to someone else?
I think at the end of the day, you always have to give the benefit of the doubt to be loyal to someone else, because that's just in return going to come back to you. It might be self-serving, but at the same time, if I'm loyal to 10 people, they're going to be loyal back to me, and I can have 10 times as much support if I need it. If there comes a time where I need something, or I need some support from someone else, or I need someone to do something for me, if I've been loyal to those people, I'm going to have that much in return. So at the end of the day, it's always about being loyal to someone else rather than yourself.
Who determines the amount of loyalty someone has towards you?
I think the person who's being loyal to you, it's their decision to be loyal to you, but you have the opportunity to, through your actions, to show them that they should be loyal to you. I don't think that I can do anything except influence their decision, but at the end of the day, it's their decision.
Thank you, Coach Greenberg.
Appreciate it.
For your time. My second interview today was Bob Fulton. He's a big help to our program here at Appalachian State University. He's over operations here at the Convocation Center. I see Bob on an everyday basis. He's a really big help to our program, so I really thought it would be interesting to get some feedback on him and some of the decisions he's made in his life to get here. What is the worst decision you ever made?
I think when I got divorced. my work ethic. I was always working, a workaholic. I was never really home a lot. It divided us. It could have been rectified, but people tend not to communicate. Down the road, I regretted it a lot. I mean, there was nothing I could do about it, but it affected me a lot. It really was a bad decision. I just wasn't thinking about my priorities. I thought work, making a living, taking care of the family, but being there for the family is more important.
What is the best decision you ever made that affected someone else?
I think when I came here to work. I mean, I worked with a lot of young people. I worked with the dance team for years, and I saw how it affected them, how they changed, how the girls, changed after they left school. I mean, even with students here, I mean, I communicate with them a lot, try to give them my advice, my knowledge, and some acceptance.
What is the worst decision someone has made that directly affected you?
One time when I was about 18, I gave someone a ride. It was just an innocent thing. Saw them walking, gave them a ride. Turned out that they had committed armed robbery. And it almost sent me to jail for 5 years for aiding and abetting a criminal. I had no knowledge of. It made me not trust people a lot. After that, I wouldn't let anyone in my vehicle. I didn't trust. It affected me a lot.
That's tough. Who or what are you loyal to?
Say that again?
Who or what are you loyal to?
I'm loyal to my parents. I mean, my parents gave me everything, taught me a lot. My dad taught me work ethic, how to be out in the world. My mom, she taught me how to deal with people, how to be compassionate, how to, it's not about how people treat you, it's how you treat them. I mean, someone can, not be nice to you, but that doesn't mean, treat them bad. So.
How do you decide between being loyal to yourself and someone to... How do you decide being loyal to yourself and loyal to someone else?
I'm always loyal to myself first, but I would expect someone to be loyal to me because, I give everyone the benefit of the doubt. I'm going to be loyal to you until you, prove that, you're not that person I think you are. Yeah, I mean, you have to give the benefit of the doubt. Not everyone does, and, we're all different. Some look at loyalty, I should be your friend no matter what. Good decision, bad decision, but I think it depends on the person. But I'm loyal to myself first. I decide, how it's going to go.
Right. Who determines the amount of loyalty someone has towards you?
I think they do. I mean, I can be loyal to you, and you're the only one who can decide how loyal you'll be to me. I'll do whatever I can for you, but when it comes time for I need something, that's when, it shows.
Thank you, Bob, for your time. Thank you. The interview was Adam Muse. He helps us a lot with our basketball team on and off the court, and he's a great person to look up to. He does Bible study outside of our team, it helps us really come together. So I really thought he would be a great person, to get some background feed on some of the views he thought and some of the decisions he's made in his life. Muse, thank you for coming and giving me your time today. I want to ask you a few questions. What is the worst decision you ever made?
The worst decision I've ever made was when I was ninth grade, playing out in the yard with my brother. We had airsoft guns out there. My brother hit me with a bat, so I shot him in the head. And the results of that was got the worst punishment of my life. Dad beat me pretty bad, but he taught me just not to take revenge on people. So.
What is the best decision you ever made that affected someone else?
The best decision I've ever made is probably become a manager here at App. It's just helped me to learn how to serve people and to help others that I can have a positive influence on. I think just being around the guys and helping their needs out and helping the coaches out has helped me become a better person.
What is the worst decision? What is the worst decision someone has made that directly affected you?
I'd probably say that when I was a kid, I used to play Little League baseball, and I thought I was pretty good, but there was a lot of adults that pick favorites and stuff, and when it came to picking all-stars, like they picked their sons over the better players. So I didn't make the team, and as a result of that, I quit baseball because I just got interested in the politics. So.
Who or what are you loyal to?
That's a good question. I'm loyal to the things that are most important to me. I feel like my family, my friends, my craft, and my beliefs, most importantly. Just because you're gonna be truly committed to the things in your life that mean the most to you. And I feel like if you put in the time and the trust to those things, then that's what's gonna determine your loyalty.
How do you decide between being loyal to yourself and loyal to someone else?
I think you always need to be loyal to yourself, no matter what you're doing. But I think you do need to be loyal to other people as well, because if you're not, you're just hurting the opportunities that you have to share your life with someone else and to share what you can offer.
Who determines the amount of loyalty someone has towards you?
Can you repeat that one?
Who determines the amount of loyalty someone has towards you?
I think it depends on them. Like, it's a two-way street. If you're not loyal to them, they're probably not going to be loyal back to you. And it all starts with trust. If you don't have trust, then there's not going to be any loyalty at all.
Thank you, Adam, for your time. Fourth interview today is Jason Roby. He's an athletic trainer here at Appalachian State University. I've also spent countless hours with him on an everyday basis. After practice, after games, he also travels with us on the road, so he's a big part of our program here. So I really thought it would be interesting to get some feedback from some decisions he's made in his life. But I got a few questions I want to ask you. What is the worst decision you ever made?
Worst decision I ever made may have been not going to medical school.
What few decisions made you not be able to go to medical school?
Actually, I didn't do well in high school, and my guidance counselor told me that I'd probably fail out, and she didn't want me to end up working in a factory.
How do you think your life would be changed now if you went to medical school?
Well, obviously, I'd be a doctor, either working in an emergency room or as an orthopedic surgeon, which would change a lot of things.
What is the best decision you ever made that affected someone else?
There's two people that I had diagnosed with two different life-threatening injuries. One, a gentleman had sustained a concussion, returned back to activity after I told him not to, sustained a second one, which is known as second impact syndrome, and I forced them to go to the emergency room against the advice and recommendation of his friends. Had I not, he would have died in his sleep. And then the other one, I was working with a professional baseball team, and the manager, I was able to diagnose him with stable angina, which is chest pain that comes on with exercise. And I immediately forced him, called 911 to get him into the hospital, and he went in for immediate heart surgery. So I got it before he had a heart attack.
What is the worst decision someone has made that directly affected you?
Well, to me, again, it goes back to my counselor. She didn't know me as an individual. She just, kind of looked at my grades and was like, hey, you're not going to make it, through medical school. And, her decision, of course, her influence on my mom influenced me to go a different route than medical school. So that'd have to be the worst.
Who or what are you loyal to?
Well, I'm loyal, obviously, to my family and friends. I'm loyal to all the athletes and the patients that I care for. I have to show loyalty that I'm going to provide them the best medical care that's out there and that I can possibly provide to them.
How do you decide between being loyal to yourself and being loyal to someone else?
Well, you always have to be loyal to yourself first. I know sometimes people see that as a selfish view, but if you don't take care of yourself health-wise, if you don't take care of yourself, loyalty and everything else, if you don't like or love yourself, you're not going to be able to take care of other people. And as a medical professional, if I'm not around, I'm not going to be able to take care of others.
Who determines the amount of loyalty someone has towards you?
Well, ultimately, it's going to be that person, whether it's a male or a female. But a lot of that also is influenced by, how I treat that person, how much respect that I gain from them, how much they can trust me, and how well that they know me.
Thank you for your time, Ruby.
You're welcome.
My fifth and last interview is Justin Gainey. He's our assistant coach here at Appalachian State University. He's a big person who impacted on me. He's a great coach. He's a great mentor to me since I've been here my freshman year. He's helped me on and off the court daily, not only just to be a better basketball player, but to be a better man. He's like a father figure to me, so it was really interesting, hear some of his decisions and some of his stories that he shared with me, and so I thought it'd be really interesting to interview him. Thanks, Justin Gainey, for being here with me.
Anytime, Mike. Glad to be here.
I got some questions for you. What is the worst decision you have ever made?
Worst decision I ever made? Probably not the worst, but one bad decision that I did make is a while back. Me and some of my guys hanging out, just had a cookout and was just chilling out a little bit, and then it got late. Everybody had some drinks, and allowed one of my friends to drive home when I knew he wasn't able to drive. And fortunately, he didn't get in a wreck or hurt anybody. He did get pulled over, did get a DUI, but I blame myself for that a little bit, for not stepping up and saying, hey, just hang out for a while until you sober up, or taking his keys from him. So that I would say is one decision that I made that it didn't end up as bad as it could have had, but definitely could have ended up a lot worse.
What is the best decision you ever made that affected somebody else?
I think the best decision I've ever made that affects other people, I would say getting into coaching, getting into coaching at all levels. I started out doing some high school stuff, also helped out a little AAU stuff, and now at the college ranks. Just being around young people, being able to tell them my story, being able to hopefully motivate them and show them what to do and what not to do through my experiences. But it's been a wonderful ride. It's been great, just to be around young people, and also, it helps. Not only is it doing something for them, but also helps me. It keeps me young, keeps me energized, keeps me fresh. So that would probably be the decision that I made that has impacted the most people. Because at one point I thought about not even getting into coaching. I was either going to the business sector or going to administration. But I'm glad I did decide to get into college coaching.
What is the worst decision someone has made that it directly affected you?
That's a good question. I would say one of my really, really close friends, probably one of my best friends, named Justin Ray. It was growing up, it was like a pack of like 5 of us who always stayed in contact, who always stayed in touch, going all the way up, until now. We stay in touch base daily, if not weekly. But 3 years ago, he decided to take his life, and it was something that definitely caught all of us off guard. I'd just been on the phone with him a couple of days prior to, didn't sense anything was wrong. He was good on the phone and everything. And a couple of days later, I was talking to his mom. He was missing, and then they ended up finding his body, and he took his own life. But that affected me greatly, just because here's a guy that I've known pretty much the majority of my life, and for him not to even come and talk to me or one of us about what he was going through, what his situation was, it still haunts me to this day. Like, what could I have done that would have helped him not get to that point? So.
Who or what are you loyal to?
I'm loyal to, first and foremost, God, and probably not as loyal as I need to be, but that's who I aim to be the most loyal to, and also my family. And I try to be as loyal to them as possible, and then also just the game of basketball and everything that's involved with it. That's the guys I coach, the people I work with, everybody I come in interaction with, and because loyalty is probably one of the most important things in life, not only in basketball and in life. You gotta be loyal to something as well as somebody needs to be loyal to you as well in order to have some type of success.
How do you decide between being loyal to yourself and loyal to someone else?
It's a fine line, I think. And I think in order to be loyal to other people, you got to be loyal to yourself. So if I have to choose between one or the other, I'm gonna be loyal to myself, because in the end, if I'm loyal to myself, then I'm going to do the right thing in all walks of life. But being loyal to myself comes first and foremost.
Who determines the amount of loyalty someone has towards you?
That's a tough one. I would say, just that person. That person. I can be as loyal as I can to somebody, but if it's not reciprocated, if they're not loyal to me, then that's completely out of my hands, completely out of what I can control. But what I can control is hey, if I'm gonna be loyal to you, regardless of how you treat me, that's the way it is. I'm gonna be loyal to you because it's the right thing to do. So I think it's got to be that person that decides, hey, I'm gonna be loyal to you. I can't make somebody be loyal to me. It has to come from me. But hopefully, by my actions, by my loyalty to them, and my actions towards them, they see that, hey, this is somebody I need to be loyal to as well.
Thank you, Coach, for your time.
Thank you, Mike.
Thank you for your time, for watching my interviews. I had a great time learning about these 5 interesting people and some of the decisions they've made, good and bad, in their life to get here at this point. The main purpose of this exercise and this assignment is to really get involved and really see where these people have made decisions, good and bad, in their life to get them to the point where they are now. So being able to, get some feedback from them really helped me out and really showed me a lot.